hot.
I see.
I said that kitchen's awful hot. That new candy I'm making just won't ever get cool.
Do you have to make candy today? I see, it's such a hot day.
Well, I got all these new orders. Ed went out and got a bunch of new orders.
My, if this keeps on, I'm supposed to be opening up a store.
That's what Ed was saying. But I said no. I want to be a dancer.
A little further, honey. Yeah, all right. Well, the only trouble with dancing is it takes so long. You've been studying for such a long time.
Only 8 years. After all, Mother, you've been right place for 8 years. We started about the same time, didn't we?
Well, yeah, but you shouldn't count my first 2 years because I was learning how to type.
I think the candy's hardening up now, Miss Essie.
Oh, thanks, Reba. I'll bring some in, Mother. I want you to try it.
Oh, you working on that second act, Mrs. Sycamore?
What?
I say, did you finish the second act yet, Mrs. Sycamore?
No, you see, I just got Cynthia entering a monastery.
Oh, well, she was at the Kit Kat, wasn't she?
Well, yeah, but she gets tired of the Kit Kat Club, and I created this monastery, so I sent her there.
They let her in?
Yeah, I also made a visitor's day so anybody could go.
Oh.
She arrives on visitor's day and stays.
You mean she stays all night?
Oh, yeah, she stays like 6 years.
6 years? My, you know what? I bet she bust that monastery wide open.
6 years later.
Mr. Peter? Yeah? Will you bring up one of the new skyrockets, please? I want to show them to Mrs. Sycamore.
Sure.
Look, Penny, what do you think of these new little firecrackers we made? We can sell them 10 strings for a cent. Listen. Nice, huh?
Pop!
Yeah?
Were you ever in a monastery?
What?
Were you ever in a monastery?
No, I wasn't. But just wait till you see the new skyrockets, Penny. Gold stars, then blue stars, then bombs, then a balloon. Mr. DePina thought of the
Oh,
balloon.
that's nice. Did you do all that today?
Oh, sure, we made them. Oh, here we are. Oh, look, Penny, cost us 18 cents to make and we can sell it for 50. How many do you think we can make before the 4th of July, Mr. DePina?
Well, we've got 2 weeks yet. Say, when are you going to bring that stuff up to Mount Vernon?
About a week. You know, we're going to need a much larger booth this year. We got a lot more stuff made up.
Mr. Sycamore, look. The powder chamber is just a little bit too close to the balloon.
But we've got the stars and the bombs in between.
That don't give the balloon enough time. A balloon needs plenty of time.
Well, let's go down to the cellar and try it.
All right.
Oh, wait, Mr. DePina.
Yeah?
If a girl you loved had entered a monastery, what would you do?
Oh, I don't know, Mrs. Sycamore. It's been so long.
Miss Alice gonna be home to dinner tonight, Mrs. Sycamore?
Huh?
Is Miss Alice gonna be home to dinner tonight?
I don't know.
Well, I'll set a place for her, but she hasn't been home one night this week, Mrs. Sycamore.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Miss Essie's making some mighty good candy in there. She's doing something new with cacao nuts.
That's nice.
Okay, well, let's see. Got a set for Mr. DePina, Miss Kallay and Cobb. They're coming too. Oh my God, I did not bring enough forks or knives or napkins.
I'm going back to my war play, Reba.
Oh my God, the war play! I always liked the war play because I always had the boom, boom! Yeah.
They'll be better when they're harder, Mother, but try one. I want to know what you think.
Oh, they look lovely. What do you call them?
I think I'll call them love dreams.
That's nice. A little hard. Yeah. I'm going back to my war play, I see.
Oh, are you, Mother?
Well, I got myself into a monastery and I can't get out.
It'll come to you, Mother. Remember how you got out of that brothel? Oh, the snakes look hungry. Did Reba feed them?
I don't know. Reba, did you feed the snakes?
No. Donald's coming and he always brings the flies.
Oh, make sure to feed them before Grandpa gets home. You know how fussy he is about
Yes,
them.
ma'am.
You know, I'll have another love drink.
Mr. DePina was right about the balloon. It was too close to the mountain.
What's a love dream, Mother? They're on the table.
No thanks, I have to go wash.
Oh, Paul, I'm going back to my war play.
Oh, that's nice. I think we're going to do red stars after the bombs and then the balloon. That ought to do it.
You know, Miss Kallay cost us our most promising pupil.
You'd think that with 40 monks and one girl, something would happen.
Hey, Essie.
That's lovely. Did you write it?
No, Beethoven.
Got a lot of you in it. I made these new candies this afternoon, Ed.
Yeah?
Will you take them around tonight?
All right. Ready? Here's the finish.
Yeah.
This one's me. How's that?
That's fine, Ed. Remember when Kallay comes, will you?
Wait, Ed, Why don't you and I see have a baby? I was thinking about it the other day.
I don't know. I guess we could have one if you wanted us to. Hey, Essie, how about it? Do you want to have a baby?
Oh, I don't care. I'm willing if Grandpa is.
Well, let's ask him.
Alright. Religious play, labor play, sex play. I know it's here somewhere.
I was right about the balloon. It was too close to the powder.
Hey, Mr. DePina, need anything printed? How about some more calling cards?
No, thanks. I've still got the first down.
Well, call on someone.
All right, okay.
Reba! What's for dinner? I'm ready to print the menu.
Let's see. We got cornflakes, watermelon, some of those candies Miss Essie's making, and then some kind of mystery meat. I forget.
I think I'm gonna set it up in bold-faced Cheltenham tonight. You know, if I'm gonna take some candy around after dinner, I better print up some descriptive matter.
I don't think anybody reads those things that you put on the back of the... Ah! Yep, here it is. The war plane. Butcher of Mount Hausen. That must be Donald.
Oh, the boyfriend, there you go. Hey, Ben Donald.
Oh, can't complain, Mr. Red. A little firecracker like Reba by my side. Oh, how you doing, Miss Sigmore?
I'm good. Donald,
Yeah.
were you ever in a monastery?
Oh. No, I do not engage in such frivolities anymore. I'm on relief. Yeah. Oh, Reba, almost forgot. Lies. How the whole mess of up today?
You sure did.
I love you. So you're applying yourself over there.
Oh, indeed, Donald.
Cool. Huh. Grandpa, he's all right?
Yeah, he's fine. He's over at Columbia this afternoon for the commencement exercises.
God, the years, they just love to roll on and on. Just funny. Bullseye.
For all the time anyways.
Oh, well, it's so handy. It's right around the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, Donald!
Hi.
Mr. DePina and I were going to take the fireworks up to Mount Vernon next week. I was wondering if you could give us a hand.
Yes, I can this year, except you can't pay me for it this year because the government's paying me. If they find out you're paying me while they're paying me, they're going to get really sore about it.
Oh, Ed! I had a great idea in the bathroom just now. I was reading Trotsky. It's yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it.
Who is it?
Trotsky, the Russian Revolution.
Okay.
Well, anyway, it struck me it was a great idea for a fireworks display. You know, remember the last days in Pompeii?
Oh, Palisades Park. That's where we met.
Anyway, I was going to do the Russian Revolution. You know, a full hour display.
Say,
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, so the red fire is the flag, huh?
The Tsar and the
is
Cossacks.
it January 6th?
The Russian Revolution.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, hello, Grandpa.
Well, sir, you should have been there. That's all I can say. You should have been there.
Was it a nice commencement, Grandpa?
Wonderful. They get better every year. You don't know how lucky you are, you're snakes.
Was it a big class this year, Grandpa? How many were there?
Oh, must have been 2 acres. Everybody graduated. Yes, sir, and much funnier speeches than they had last year.
Hey, you want to hear a funny speech? You should listen to that Pope guy. I can't understand a word.
I'll wait till have them at Columbia.
Okay.
Donald, can you tell Reba that Grandpa's home and Miss Alice, we're not going to wait for her, so get
Yeah,
her
you
whenever.
got it, you got it.
Reba! Grandpa's home! Get her! Now! We made a fine new skyrocket today, Grandpa. Just wait till you see it.
Evening, Grandpa.
Evening, Mr. DePina.
Didn't we make a fine new skyrocket today, Mr. DePina?
We certainly did.
I wonder why they don't have fine skyrockets at commencements.
Well, they don't make enough noise. You take a good commencement orator, he'll drown out a whole carload of fireworks, and he'll say just as much, too.
Don't the graduates ever say anything?
Oh, no, they just sit there in their cap and nightgown, get their diplomas, and then along about 40 years from now, they look up and suddenly say, "Where am I?"
Hello, Grandpa. Did you have a nice day?
Oh, hello, have a nice day. Don't I even get kissed?
Mwah. Excuse me, Grandpa.
Take a tomato, too. You know, I could have used a couple of these this afternoon.
Father?
No thanks.
Mother?
I'll play something, Ed.
Oh, okay.
There's a letter for you, Grandpa. Did you get it?
Letter for me? I don't know anybody.
It was for you, though. Had your name on it.
All right, funny. Where is it?
I don't know. Where's the letter that came for Grandpa, Mother?
What?
Where's the letter that came for Grandpa last week, Mother?
notice?
Guess who's on the outside?
Oh, who was it?
The United States government.
Real.
There was one before that too. There's a couple of them actually.
Well, if any more come, I wish you'd give them to me.
Yes, Grandpa.
I think I'll go out to Westchester tomorrow to do a little snake hunting.
God is the state is God.
What?
God is the state is God.
Who says that?
Trotsky.
Oh, that's all right. I thought you said it.
Well, I did say it, but he said it first.
It's nice for printing, you know. It's good and short. G-O-D space I-S space T-H-E space.
And so the beautiful princess came into her palace and she kissed her mother and her father and her grandfather.
Hello, darling.
Hi, Grandpa. And what do you think? They turned into the Sycamore family. Surprise.
Yes, I like it.
Do you?
It's new, isn't
It
it?
looks nice and summery.
Where'd you get it?
Oh, I took a walk during lunch hour.
You've been taking a lot of walks lately. That's the second new dress this week.
I just like to brighten up the office once in a while. I'm known as the K. Francis of Kirby & Co. Well, what's new around here in the way of plays, snakes, ballet dancing, and fireworks? Dad, I'll bet you've been down in the cellar all day.
What?
I'll bet you've been down in the cellar all day!
Oh.
I'm going back to my war play, Alice.
Really?
Ooh, Ed, play Alice that Beethoven thing you wrote.
You can mail a letter now all the way from Nicaragua for only 2 pesetas. Isn't that wild?
Really?
Yeah.
Kenneth, my virginity is a priceless thing.
Listen, people, listen. I'm not home to dinner. A young gentleman is calling.
Really who?
Well, isn't that
I
nice?
did everything possible to keep him from coming here, but he's calling for me.
Well, why do you both stay for dinner?
Oh, no. I want him to take you in easy doses, so don't make it any worse than you can help. Don't read him any plays, Mother. And don't let a snake bite him, Grandpa, because I like him. And I wouldn't dance for him, Essie, because we're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet tonight.
You can't do anything. Who is he? President of the United States?
No, he is Vice President of Kirby & Co., Mr. Anthony Kirby, Jr.
The boss's son?
The
Wow.
boss's son, just like the movies.
That explains the new dresses.
And why she hasn't been home for dinner in 3 weeks.
Why, Sherlock Holmes.
Are you gonna marry him?
Of course, tonight. Meanwhile, I have to go upstairs and put on my wedding dress.
Is he good looking?
Yes, in a word. Oh dear, what time is it?
I don't know. Does anybody know what time it is?
Mr. DePino might know.
It was 5 o'clock a couple hours ago.
I have to to ask you people, will you let me know the minute he comes?
Of course.
Yes, well, I mean the minute he comes.
Of course.
Well, to be sure.
Well, isn't that nice?
She seems to like him, if you ask me.
Yeah, I should think so. She's got it bad.
Okay, I think if they get married, we'll have the wedding like right here.
This is the first time the boy's calling for her.
Well, you only called for me once.
Oh, young people are so different nowadays.
Oh, I don't know. Look at Ed and me. He came to dinner once, and he just stayed.
I think it's wonderful. Don't you, Grandpa?
Well, she certainly seems happy about it.
Oh, he must be crazy about it. Maybe he's the one that's taking her out to all those nice dinners. Oh my God, that must be him. Never mind, we've all done it. All right, everyone, remember what Alice said? Be very nice to him.
All right, let's take a look at him.
Hi.
Hi, how do you do?
Hi, come on in. I'm Alice's mother, Mrs. Sycamore, and this is Grandpa. My husband, Mr. Sycamore. Her sister, Essie. Essie's husband, Ed. Please give me a hat, make yourself at home.
I believe you might be making a mistake.
Why's that?
My card.
Wilbur C. Henderson, Internal Revenue Department.
That's right.
Well, what can we do for you?
Does a Mr. Martin Vanderhoff live here?
Yes, sir, that's me.
Ah, Mr. Vanderhoff. The government would like to have a little conversation with you about income tax.
Income tax?
No, just go right ahead.
Mother, is that Mr. Kirby?
No, darling, it's an internal something. Please excuse me.
Mr. Sycamore!
What is it?
These things aren't going up, you see?
Oh, not him, Mr. DePino. Oh, Grandpa's busy. Grandpa's busy. No, he's busy. Pardon.
Well, Mr. Vanderhoff, we have written you several letters about this, but have heard no reply.
Oh, that's what those letters were.
I told you they were from the government.
Now, according to our records, Mr. Vanderhoff, you have never paid an income tax.
That's right.
Why not?
I don't believe in it.
You own property, don't you?
Yes, sir.
And you receive a yearly income from it
I do.
of between $3,000 and $4,000.
About that.
You've been receiving it for years.
I have, since 1901, if you want the exact date.
Well, the government's only interested from 1914 on. That's when the income tax started.
Well?
Well, it seems, Mr. Vanderhoff, that you owe the government 24 years of back income tax.
Wait a minute. You can't go back that far. That is outlawed.
What's your name?
What difference does that make?
Have you ever filed an income tax return?
No, sir.
How much money did you make last year?
$28.50.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, you do realize that there's quite a penalty for not paying an income tax?
Penalty?
Now, look, Mr. Henderson, let me ask you something.
No?
Suppose I do pay you this money. Mind you, I'm not saying I'm going to. But for the sake of argument, what's the government going to do with it?
How do you mean?
Well, what do I get for my money? If I go into Macy's and I buy something, well, I see it. There it is. What's the government give me?
Why, the government gives you everything. It protects you.
What from?
Invasion? Foreigners who might try to come in here and take everything you've got?
Oh, I don't think they're going to do that.
Oh, if you don't pay an income tax, they will. How do you think the government keeps up the Army and the Navy, all those battleships?
We haven't used battleships since the Spanish-American War. And what did we get out of it? Now, Cuba. And we gave that back. Now, I wouldn't mind paying if it was something sensible.
Sensible? Well, what about Congress or the Supreme Court? Or the President? Surely we've got to pay them, don't we?
Not with my money, no, sir.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not here to argue with you. All I know is that you haven't paid an income tax and you gotta pay an
Well,
income tax.
they've got to show me.
No, they don't have to show you. I just told you. All those buildings in downtown Washington and interstate commerce and the Constitution?
The Constitution was paid for long ago. But what is interstate commerce?
There are 48 states, see? And without interstate commerce, nothing could go between them. See?
Why not? They got fences?
They don't have fences, Mr. Vanderhoff. They have laws. My God, I've never seen anything like this before.
Well, look, I might pay about $75, but that's all it's worth.
You'll pay every cent, just like everyone else.
I see. Listen to that.
And I'll tell you something else. You'll go to jail if you don't pay. Do you understand? That's the law. And if you think you're bigger than the law, you've got another thing coming. You're no bigger than anybody else, and as soon as you get that through your skull, the better. You'll be hearing from the United States government. That's all I have to say.
Look out for those snakes.
What snakes? Oh, dear Lord!
How was that?
That's fine, Ed.
How'd that sound to you folks?
I like it.
He was mad, wasn't he?
Oh, it's not his fault. The whole thing is just so silly.
Oh, and he forgot his hat.
What size is that hat?
7 1/8.
Oh, that's just the size of my head.
Who was that fella anyway?
Okay, this must be Mr. Kirby.
Better make sure this time.
I will.
Oh, I hope he's good looking.
Hi, is this Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.?
Why, yes, it is.
Oh my God, please come on in. I know, his mother, thank you. Give me a hat. This is Grandpa. This is Mrs. Sycamore, my husband, her father, Essie, sister, and her husband, Ed Carmichael. Please come in, come in.
Oh, thank you.
Is that Mr. Kirby, Mother?
Yes, it is, darling. He's lovely.
I'll be right down.
Oh, sit, please sit.
I hope I'm not keeping you from dinner.
No, have a tomato.
Oh, no thank you. No thanks.
I forgot to introduce Mr. DePina. This is Mr. DePina, Mr. Kirby.
How are you? Wasn't I reading about your father in the newspaper? Didn't he get indicted or something?
Oh, hardly that. He just testified before the Securities Commission.
I'm sure there was nothing crooked about it, Mr. DePina. Anyway, Alice has often told me what a lovely man your father is.
Well, Father couldn't get along without Alice. She knows more about the business than any of us.
You're awful young, Mr. Kirby, aren't you, to be vice president of a big place like that?
Well, you know what that means, Vice President. All I have is a desk with my name on it.
Is that all? Don't you get any, like, salary?
A little. More than I'm worth, I'm afraid.
Now you're being modest.
It all sounds kind of dull to me, Wall Street. How do you like it?
Oh, the hours are short, and I haven't been there very long.
Oh, you're just out of college, huh?
I knocked around for a while first, just sort of had fun.
Oh, what'd you do? You travel?
For a while, and then I went to Cambridge for a year.
Oh, England. Say, what's an English commencement like? Did you see anything?
Oh, very impressive.
Yeah, they are, huh?
Anyhow, now the fun's over, and I'm facing the world.
Certainly got a good start. Vice president and a rich father.
Well, that's hardly my fault.
Now I suppose you're all ready to just settle down and get married.
Well, now, Penny, I'm sure Mr. Kirby knows his own mind.
I wasn't making up his mind for it, was I, Mr. Kirby?
Not at all, Mrs.
You mustn't
Sycamore.
rush him, Mother.
I am not rushing anybody. All I'm saying is he's bound to get married. And suppose the wrong girl gets a clause in it. Very bad.
Well, here I am, a vision in blue. Apparently you've had time to get acquainted.
Oh, yes, we just had the most delightful talk about love and marriage.
Dear, I'm so sorry. I came down as fast as I could.
I didn't mind in
Oh,
the least.
God damn, all those flies in the kitchen, they done woke up. Oh, Miss Alice. You look beautiful. Where are you going?
I'm going out, Reba.
Stepped in, huh? Okay.
Oh, that must be
Oh,
Kunka.
Tony, we should leave.
Alice,
Hey, Grandpa, you take cream butter and cornflakes you got, I forgot.
Half and half, Donald.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
Rabishka, my little Rabishka. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Grandpa, what do you think? I get a letter from Russia. The second 5-year plan is a failure.
I'm practicing it today, Miss Kalinko.
Oh, my Pavlova.
Well, if you'll excuse us, Miss Kollenkov.
My little Alice, never have I seen you looking so magnificent.
Thank you. This is Miss Kollenkov, SE Stanson teacher, Mr. Kirby.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Will you pardon us, Miss Kollenkov? We're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet.
The Monte Carlo Ballet. It stinks.
Yes, well, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
The Monte Carlo Ballet.
Oh my God, isn't he wonderful? Come on, everyone, dinner.
I thought he was a lovely fellow. I don't think that. Didn't you?
And so good looking.
He had such nice manners. Did you notice,
Oh,
Paul?
my-
Did you notice his manners?
I certainly did, Penny. You were getting pretty personal with him there.
Well, anyhow, Paul, I'm just saying he's a very nice man.
He looked like one of my cousins.
Thanks. Diabolic. Then you hate the ballet.
I think when they get married, I'll put the altar right where the snakes are. You wouldn't mind, would you, Grandpa?
Well, not if the snakes don't.
They'll want to get married in church as family and everything.
Right, with the bells.
What? All right, quiet, everybody quiet. Well, sir, we've been getting along pretty good for quite a while now, and we are certainly much obliged. Remember, all that we ask is to just go along and be happy in our own sort of way. Of course, we'd like to keep our health, but as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you. Thank you. So that second 5-year plan is a failure, eh, Kalinko?
Catastrophic. Just wait till they try the third 5-year plan.
Imagine Alice marrying a Kirby.
Thinking about it so exciting.
I like the church wedding.
I could play the wedding march on my xylophone.
What's for dinner? I'm starved.
Reveille, he's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot.
I could see them dance every night of the week. I think they're marvelous.
They are, aren't they? But of course, just going inside any theater gives me a thrill.
Well, it's been so lovely, Tony. I hate to have it over.
Oh. Is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like a cold drink?
Wonderful.
I'll see what's in the icebox. Want to come along?
I'd follow you to the ends of the earth.
Oh, just the kitchen is enough. Lucky you're not hungry, Mr. K. An icebox full of cornflakes. That gives you a rough idea of the sycamores. Anyhow, it's cold.
Well, now, if you'll please be seated, I'd like to make a toast.
I am seated.
That's right. Miss Sycamore, to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby. To you.
You know, I wouldn't trade 1 minute of this evening for all the rice in China.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Is there much rice in China?
Terrific. Haven't you ever read The Good Earth? Oh dear, I better get going.
Is it very late?
Very. I don't want to go.
I don't want you to.
All right, I won't. When do you take your vacation?
Last 2 weeks in August.
I think I might take mine then too.
Really?
Going away, do you think?
I might not. I like the city in the summertime.
So do I.
But you always go up to Maine, don't you?
That's right. But I suppose I would like the city in the summertime if, well, you know what I mean, Alice. I would love it if you were here.
I'd like it if you were here too, Tony.
You know what you're saying then, don't you?
What?
That you'd rather spend the summer with me than with anybody else.
Was I?
Well, if you feel that way about the summer, Miss Sycamore, how would you feel about, say, the winter?
I might like that.
Okay, well, then there's spring and autumn. If you could see your way clear about those.
I might.
Well, then I guess that's the whole year. We haven't forgotten anything now, have we?
No.
Well, then.
Alice, dear, is that you? What time is it? Oh. I didn't mean to interrupt anything.
Not at all, Miss Sycamore.
No, Mother.
I just came down for a script. Don't mind, sorry. Don't look, Tony. Here it is. Sex takes a holiday. You had fun? That's wonderful. Well, I'm gonna go. Good night, Alice. Good night, Tom. No peeking. Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, well, I think you can call me Penny, don't you, Alice? At least I hope so. Nobody see me in this state.
What was that?
It's all right, Tony. That's just Father.
At this time of night?
Any time of night, any time of day.
You know, you are more beautiful, more lovely, more adorable than anyone in the whole world.
Don't, Tony.
What? Darling, because of your mother? All mothers are like that, Alice, and Penny is a darling. You see, I'm even calling her Penny.
I don't mean that. Listen, I should have said something a long time ago, but I didn't have the courage. I let myself get swept away because I love you.
Darling.
No, wait, Tony. I want to make it clear to you. Listen, you're a whole different world, a whole different kind of people. I don't mean money or socially, that's too silly, but your family and mine, it just wouldn't work, Tony. It just wouldn't work.
All right, have it your way. She can't dance. They pay her all that money because she can't dance.
Well, I don't call that dancing what she does. Oh, hello. How's the ballet?
It was fine, Essie.
Wonderful.
Evening.
Evening.
Now look, what do you people think? Ed and I saw Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Do you think she can dance, Mr. Kirby?
Oh, yes, I always thought so.
What does she do anyhow? Now look, you're Fred Astaire and I'm Ginger
Oh,
Rogers.
Essie, please.
Oh, I only want to use it for a minute. Now look, Mr. Kirby.
Essie, we think you're just as good as Ginger Rogers. We all agree.
See, Ed?
Yeah, I think we're butting in here. We should probably head upstairs.
Oh, but they've been together all evening. Good night, Mr. Kirby. Good night, Alice.
Good night, Mrs. Carmichael.
Good night. Essie, did you ask Grandpa about us having a baby?
Oh, yes, you said go right ahead.
You see? That's what it'd be like.
What? I didn't mind that. Besides, we're not going to be living with your family. It's just you and I.
No, it isn't. It's never quite that. I love them, Tony. I love them deeply. Some people could break away, but I couldn't. I know they do rather strange things, but they're gay and they're fun, and I don't know. There's a sort of nobility about them.
Alice, you talk as though only you could understand them. That's not so. Why, every family has their little curious traits. What of it? My father raises orchids at $10,000 a bowl. Is that sensible? My mother believes in spiritualism. That's just as bad as your mother writing plays now, isn't it?
No, it goes deeper, Tony. Your mother believes in spiritualism because it's fashionable, and your father raises orchids because he can afford to. My mother writes plays because 8 years ago, a typewriter was delivered here by mistake.
What of it?
And look at Grandpa. 35 years ago, he just up and quit business. He started up to his office in the elevator and came right down again. He could have been a rich man, but he said it took too much time. So for 35 years, he just collects snakes and goes to circuses and commencements. It never occurs to any of them that the things...
children.
Hello, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Hello, Grandpa.
How's the weather? It's like a nice summer evening.
It's lovely, Grandpa.
Well, I'm off. Lovely meeting you, Tony, but I've got a date with a policeman on the corner.
Policeman?
Oh, we've got a kind of standing date, 12:30 every night. You see, I've known him since he was a little boy. He's really a doctor. But when he graduated, he came to me and said, I don't want to be a doctor. He had always wanted to be a policeman. So I said, you go ahead and be a policeman then if that's what you want to be. And that is exactly what he did. How do you like my hat?
It's very nice, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Yeah, I like it. Government gave it to me.
Reba, you that tickled. What did I say about that? I said only on your friggin' birthday.
I didn't think you guys were gonna be here.
It's fine, Donald.
Reba wants some candy. You guys are wanting.
No, no.
I'll sit down. Myself. Catch a big game, Connie?
It was a good one, Donald.
Yeah, I missed it. Chewy candy. The weather was nice.
Excellent.
Good lively. Okay. Ballet? Good?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
But I
yeah.
just, gonna mosey on back there.
Reba, they saw all the cream on my neck.
Now you see what I mean. Could you explain Donald to your father? Could you explain Grandpa? You couldn't, Tony. You couldn't. I love you, but I love them, and it's no use, Tony. It's just no use.
Well, firstly, I'd rather like that man, Alice. And secondly, you've only said one thing that matters, that makes any sense at all. You love me.
But Tony, I know so well.
But darling, don't you think other people have this problem? Everybody's got a family.
But not like mine.
That doesn't stop people who love each other, Alice. Darling, won't you just trust me and go on loving me and let everything else work out?
Tony, how can I?
Because nothing can keep us apart. You know that. You must. They want you to be happy, Alice. They must.
Of course they do, but they can't change, Tony, and I wouldn't want them to change.
They won't have to change. They're charming, lovable people just as they are. Everything will be okay. You're worrying about something that may never come up.
Tony, am I?
All that matters is that we love each other. Is that so?
Yeah.
Well, then,
Oh, Tony!
now I'd like to see a little gaiety around here. Young gentlemen calling and getting engaged and everything.
Well, what do I say?
Well, first you thank the young man for getting engaged to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby, for getting engaged to me.
And then you tell him what it was about him that first took your girlish heart.
The back of your head.
Huh?
Yep, it wasn't your money and it wasn't your charm. It was the back of your head. I just liked it.
Well,
What happened when I turned around?
I got used to it after a while.
Oh, Alice, think of it. We're pretty lucky, aren't we?
I know that I am. I am the luckiest girl in the world.
Well, I am not exactly unlucky myself. Oh dear, it's getting late. I better get going. Good night, darling. Till tomorrow.
Good night.
Isn't it wonderful we work in the same office? Otherwise, I'd be hanging around here all day.
Won't it be funny in the office tomorrow? Going as though nothing has happened?
Well, good thing I'm vice president. I can dictate to you all day. Dear Miss Sycamore, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Darling, you are such a fool.
Meet me in the office tomorrow before you come up. I'll have millions of things to say to you then.
All right.
And then lunch tomorrow, dinner tomorrow
Tony,
evening.
what will people say?
Well, it's got to come out at some point. In fact, if you know a good housetop, I'd like to do a little shouting.
Yes, sir, Mr. DePina. We did a good night's work.
Well, that's what. What do we got here? What do we got? We got 500 Black Panthers, 300 willow trees, and was it 8 dozen? 8 dozen junior kitty bombers?
Oh, hello, Alice. You just come in?
Oh, no, I've been home quite a while, Father.
Have a nice evening.
It was a beautiful evening, Father.
Well, I want you to take a look at this new red fire. Mr. DePina, will you turn out the lights? I wanted to get the full effect.
What, Father?
Take a look at this new red fire. It's beautiful. There, isn't it beautiful?
Oh, yes, it's so beautiful. It's the most beautiful red fire in the world.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand. Because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A toot, a toot, a toot, a toot, he rolls it into the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't.
All right, so I said to him, I said, you can take your old job.
I'm ready to read you the play, Miss Wellington, whenever you are.
Just a minute, dearie, just a minute.
Okay. Well, the only thing is, and I hope you don't mind me asking this, but you don't drink when you're acting, do you?
I'm glad you brought it up. Once a play opens, I never touch a drop. The minute I enter a stage door, the bottle gets put away until intermission.
Have you been on the stage a long time, Miss Wellington?
All my life. I've played everything. Ever seen Peg O' My Heart?
Yes.
I saw it too. Good show. Hot night out there.
It is a very hot night. Miss Wellington. May I please open a window?
Oh no. The hell with the weather. Say, he's cute.
Oh, hey, Reba! No!
Get in! Let's go read it away. Get the creative juices. When I see snakes, it's time to lie down.
Oh, but Miss Wellington, those are harmless. They're grandpas. We treat them like pets. Miss Wellington?
Better let us sleep it off.
Hey, Reba! Miss Wellington just passed out!
Do you think she'll be all right?
Yes, but I wouldn't cast her in a religious play.
I suppose I'll just have to wait.
Well, next time you meet an actress on the top of a bus, Penny, I think I'd send her the script instead of bringing her home to read it.
I wish you stopped printing and take those love drinks around. You've got to get back in time to play for you and Kallay comes.
Oh, Kalenkov's coming tonight?
Yes, tomorrow night's her night, but I had to change it on account of Alice.
Oh, big doings around here tomorrow night, huh?
So nervous you'd think it was me engaged instead of Alice.
I wonder what they'll be like, his mother and father. And what are you doing now?
Penny, check out this new mask I made. Ready? Guess who it is?
Oh, wow. Very nice. Ooh. Give me a minute, Ed. There's 2 options. Helen or Troy?
It's Miss Roosevelts.
You know what I love about these Mikado sets? You could really make anything out of them. Last week, this was the Empire State Building.
Well, what is it this week?
The Queen Mary.
Well, that doesn't look like an English woman to me.
Mr. Pinner. Mr. Pinner, can you do me a favor and check outside if there's a man watching the house?
Why? What for?
For the past 2 days when I've been out delivering candy, I think a man has been following me.
And you're crazy.
No, I'm not. He follows me around, and he stands, and he watches the house.
Really? I'll take a look and see.
I don't see what anyone would follow you for, Ed.
There is a lot of kidnapping going on.
Yes, but not of Ed.
Well, you see anything?
No, not a soul out there.
Are you sure?
Positive, I just saw him walk away.
You see?
Oh, that could have been anyone wandering along the streets. Edley, hurry up and get back.
Oh, what do you say, Mr. Sigmore? Why don't we go finish the fireworks?
Yeah, we gotta take them up to Mount Vernon in the morning.
Right.
Mother may borrow some paper. I'm making out a list for Reba tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah.
Here's some. Yeah. Why, what happened to your actress friend? Is she giving a performance?
Oh, no, Alice. She's not acting. She's just very drunk.
Essie, dear, you're going to give Reba the kitchen all day tomorrow, right? Because she'll need it.
Of course, Alice. I'll get started on love dreams right now, so I'll be way ahead.
Thanks, dear. Look, Mother, I'm coming home at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Will that be enough time to get everything down into the cellar? The typewriter, and the snakes, and the xylophone, and the printing press.
And Miss Wellington.
Miss Wellington. That'll give me enough time to arrange the table and fix the flowers.
The Kirbys are certainly going to get the wrong impression of this house.
You'll do that, won't you, Mother? And I think I ought to have cocktails ready around 7:15 in case they happen to come a little early. I ought to let Reba cook the dinner, maybe. What do you think, Grandpa?
Now, Alice, I wouldn't worry so much. From what I've seen of the boy, I'm sure the Kirbys are very nice people. And if everything isn't so elaborate tomorrow night, well, that's all right, too.
Darling, I'm not trying to impress them or pretend we're anything we aren't. I want it to go off well.
No reason why it shouldn't, Alice.
We're all going to do everything we can to make sure it's a wonderful party.
Oh, darlings, I love you. You're the most wonderful family in the world, and I am the happiest girl in the world. I didn't know anyone could be this happy. This past week, it's just been like floating. He's so wonderful, Grandpa. Just seeing him, you don't know what that does to me.
Just seeing him. Yeah, you just see him for lunch and for dinner and until 4 o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock the next morning, you're in the office again, and there he is. That's just seeing him, huh?
I don't care. I'm in love. Reba! Reba!
Well, it's nice, isn't it? Nice to see her so happy.
I remember when I was engaged to Paul, how happy I was, and I still feel that way, too.
I know. Nice the way Ed and Essie are getting along, too, isn't it?
And Donald and Reba with the cream. I suppose Mr. DePino will ever marry?
Well, there's always Miss Wellington.
I wish she would wake up if we're going to read my religious plays.
Mrs. Sycamore! Look alive!
Oh, my God! My painting of you is the discus thrower. Look, Grandpa!
Oh, I remember. Say, Mr. DePina, is your hair naturally that color?
I don't know. Is yours?
Well played, DePina.
It was a long time ago. It was just before I stopped painting. That was like 8 years.
Oh, I wish you'd finish this, Mrs. Sycamore.
No, I always meant to, but once that typewriter showed up, it was a sign. I never painted again.
Good thing, too. I mean, I was going to have to strip next, Penny.
Who would have thought that the day I delivered the ice that I'd be here 8 years?
Well, the milkman was here for 5, just ahead of you.
Yeah, why did he leave anyway?
Well, he didn't leave. He died.
That's right.
Remember that funeral, Grandpa? It's hard to get a certificate because we didn't know his last name.
Yeah, what was the name we ended up making up for him, anyhow?
Oh, Martin Vanderhoff. We gave him your name.
Oh, I remember, yes.
Good thing, too. Otherwise, he never would have gotten all those flowers.
There certainly was, and it didn't bother me, Enemy. I'm not bothered with mail anymore, and I haven't had a telephone call from that day to this.
It really was a wonderful idea.
I really wish you'd finish this, Mrs. Sycamore. I'd kind of like to have it.
You know what, Mr. DePina? I will do some work on it tonight.
Really?
Oh, well, I don't think she's getting up. So, how about you go down to the cellar and put on your costume and bring up the easel? It's still down there.
I think so.
Okay, I just need to find my palette and brushes. Gotta go.
Good evening!
Rabishka, my little Rabishka.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss
It's
Cole,
totally
hi, Essie's in the kitchen.
Oh, Madam Sycamore, I greet you. Grandpa, tell me, what should I do about the Rabishka? I keep saying she would make an excellent toe dancer, but she laughs. Oh,
Because, no, I cannot be no toe dancer. I got corns, Miss Colleen. Oh, my God.
Rabishka, you could wear diamonds.
Oh, stop! Stop!
Great girl. What is that?
Well, that's a picture of Mr. DePenna. Penny painted it.
Ah, it stinks.
I know. How do you like that?
What is that?
She's an actress, a friend of Penny's.
She's drunk, no?
She is drunk, yes. Well, how are you, Kalenkov?
Marvelous. Life is chasing around inside of me like a squirrel.
What news from Russia? You get any more letters from your friend in Moscow?
Yes, I have just heard from him. I say for you the stamp.
Oh, thank you, Kalenkov.
They have sent him to Siberia.
They have, huh? And how's he like it?
Then he has escaped. He has escaped and gone back to Moscow. He will get them yet if they do not get him first. Ugh. The Soviet government. I could take the whole Soviet government and...
Sorry I'm late, Miss Kalenkov. I'll get into my dance clothes right away.
Tonight, we will really work, Pavlova. Tonight we will try something new.
Okay.
Is he making any progress, Kalenkov?
Confidently, she stinks.
Well, as long as she's having fun.
I got love with you, Miss Coca-Cola. You sure do tickle my Reba. I mean, she's just guffawing her head off back there. You hear?
She's a great woman.
Yeah.
Tell me, Donald, what do you think of the Soviet government?
The what?
I withdraw the question. What do you think of this government?
This guy. Yeah, I like it fine, you know. I'm on relief, so. Yeah.
Oh, yes, and you like that?
Yeah, I like it fine, you know. It's all right. You know, so the only drag is, you know, gotta go down to that stinky office and wait in that line to get the relief, and sometimes it takes about a half an hour or more. It just breaks up my day. It's stressful, and I like it fine.
Well, you
It
know,
ought to be run a lot better than that, don't you think, Grandpa?
you know, Donald, I was just about to say the government ought to stop sending me so many letters. I mean, I'm supposed to be at the United States Marshal's office Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. Would you look at that?
Income tax, they've got you, Grandpa.
Well, I'm supposed to pay him a whole lot of money so as to keep Donald on relief.
You're gonna pay it from now on? I don't gotta go to the stinky office anymore?
That's what they want.
Oh. But do I have to go there every week to get it? I can just come here to get it, right?
No,
If
Donald.
You're gonna pay it.
I'm afraid you're going to have to waste a whole half hour of your time every week.
Really?
Yes, Donald.
Breaks up my week.
He should have been in Russia when the revolution came. Then he would have stood in a line. A bread line! Grandpa, what they have done to Russia. The Grand Duchess, Olga Katrina, cousin of the Tsar, is now waitress at the Child Restaurant in Times Square. Just last week I ordered baked beans from her. Broke my heart. A crazy world, Grandpa.
Oh, world's not so crazy, Kalenkov. It's the people in it. Well, life is kind of simple if you just relax.
How are you supposed to relax in times like these?
Well, if they just relaxed, there wouldn't be times like these. That's my point. Life is beautiful if you just let it come to you. The trouble is, people forget that. You know I did. I was right in the thick of it. Fighting, scratching, and crawling was a regular jungle. Till one day it just kind of struck me, well, I wasn't having any fun.
So you did what?
I just relaxed. 35 years ago that was, and I've been a happy man ever since.
Oh, good evening, Miss Kalenkov.
Oh, Alice, I have not been present to offer my congratulations.
Thank you.
May you be very happy and have very many children. That is my prayer for you.
That's quite a thought.
Oh, love is all that is left in the world, Grandpa.
Yes, but there is plenty of that.
And soon Stalin will take it away too, I tell you.
Oh, wow. It feels so nice to get to my art things again.
So look all right, don't they, Grandpa?
Yes, indeed.
You look like a breath of Paris now, Sycamore.
I didn't know the WPA gave you a job.
No, Donald, I used to paint all the time.
It happened again! There was a fellow following me everywhere I went.
Ed, it's just your imagination.
No, it isn't. Every time I go out to deliver candy, someone's following me.
Maybe he just wants a piece of candy.
Laugh all you want, Grandpa, but he keeps following me.
You do not know what following is. In Russia, everybody is followed. I was followed right out of Russia.
Yeah, so it's your imagination.
Yeah, well, maybe.
I'll put it together.
Hey, well, tonight's lesson, we first move the bullshit.
Did you recently recover from jaundice? You're pretty yellow.
It's called self-tanner, Toots.
I'm sorry, Miss Kleinkauf, I couldn't find my slippers.
Oh, Pavlova, we have a hot night for it. But art is only achieved through perspiration.
Oh, I like that. Art is only achieved through perspiration! Hear that, Grandpa?
Yes, but it helps that you've got a little talent with it. You know, I only made 2 bullseyes last night. I've got to do better than that.
Okay, we begin. Now, pirouette. Pirouette! It has been 8 years now. Surely you can do that. Hey, yes! Yes, now, Grandpa, stolen in Russia. You cannot relax. The Tsar relaxed, and look what happened to him.
Well, he was too late.
If he had not relaxed, the Grand Duchess, Olga Katrina, would not be selling big deals today.
Miss Kleinkauf!
Oh, I am very sorry.
Go back to the pirouette.
Can we try,
Yes?
lovely.
Miss Sycamore! Miss Sycamore!
What, Reba?
Hello, Kirby family!
How do you do?
Are we too early?
No, it's perfectly all right. Just come right in. We're glad to see you.
Yeah, very. Only we thought this was tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Now, it's perfectly all right. Just make yourselves at home.
How could you possibly? I don't know.
Really, Tony, this is most embarrassing.
No, not at all. Why, we weren't doing a thing.
Quiet, relaxed evening at home.
That's all. So don't let it bother you. Oh, this is Alice's mother, Mrs. Sycamore.
How do you do?
Alice's sister, Miss Carmichael. Mr. Carmichael. Miss Kalenkov. And that is Mr. DePinna.
How do you do?
Well, don't mind me. I'll take this costume right off.
Mr. DePinna, would you tell Mr. Sycamore to come right up, tell him that Mr. and Mrs. Kirby are here?
He should have put his pants on.
All right. Miss Kirby.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna go tell Alice that you guys are here. Sorry, just excuse me a moment. Furniture. Alice, Lucia. Oh, we got a surprise for you. It's quite long. Very tall. She'll be right down. This is nice.
Oh, may I take your wrap, Mrs. Kirby?
Oh, yes, thank you. If you're quite sure.
Don't be alarmed, Mrs. Kirby. The snakes are perfectly harmless.
Thank you.
And take them into the kitchen.
I'm sorry, we're just so used to them around all the time.
I'm so sorry to trouble you. It's just that snakes.
I feel very uncomfortable about this. Tony, how could you do such a thing?
I'm sorry, Father. I thought it was tonight.
It was very careless of you. Very.
Oh, no, Mr. Kirby. Everybody gets mixed up.
Well, how about some dinner for these folks, Penny? They'd come for dinner.
Oh,
you know.
no, please don't bother. We're really not hungry at all.
It's not a bit of a bother. Okay, and you go tell Donald we're down to the A&P, get half a dozen bottles of beer and some canned salmon. You got it? Do you like canned salmon, Mr. Kirby?
Oh, please don't trouble Mrs. Sycamore. I have a little indigestion anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Mrs. Kirby, how about you? Do you like canned salmon?
Oh, I just love it.
Okay. We can do frankfurters if you'd rather.
Either one will do.
Make it frankfurters and some canned corn and Campbell's soup. Okay, you got all that?
Yes,
Oh,
got it.
Thank you. A&P is right around the corner, and frankfurters don't take any time to boil, so.
Oh, and this is Mr. Sycamore, Alice. Here. Mr. and Mrs. Kirby.
You'll have to forgive my appearance.
It's Mr. Sycamore's busiest time of year, just before the 4th of July.
I make fireworks.
Oh!
My dear, I am the most dull-witted person in the world. I thought it was tonight.
Why, Tony, how could you possibly? I'm so sorry. Have you all met each other?
Yes, indeed.
How do you do, Alice? How do you do, Mrs. Kirby? I'm afraid I'm not very presentable.
Darling, you look lovely.
Of course she does. Don't let this upset you, my dear. We've all just met each other night sooner, that's all.
Of course. Yes, I was just planning such a nice party for tomorrow night.
Well, we'll come again tomorrow night.
Well, there you are, Alice. Am I forgiven?
I guess we should see about getting you some dinner.
Oh, I did that. That's all done.
Mother, what did you send out for? Because Mr. Kirby suffers from indigestion. He can only eat certain things.
It's all right, it's all right.
It's completely fine, Alice.
I asked him what he wanted.
Yes.
Now, it's not as serious as all of that, just because I suffer from a little indigestion.
Perhaps it is not indigestion at all, Mr. Kirby. Perhaps you have stomach ulcer.
Don't be absurd, Miss Kullenkoff.
You mustn't mind Miss Kullenkoff, Mr. Kirby. She is a Russian, and Russians are inclined to look on the dark side.
Yes, I am a Russian, but my friend, a Russian, died of stomach
Really?
Miss Kullenkoff, Mr. Kirby suffers from indigestion, and that's all.
Let him wait.
Would you sit down, Mr. Kirby? Make yourself comfortable.
Well, good time.
How do you find business conditions, Mr. Kirby? Do you think we're pretty well out of the depression?
What? Yes, I think so. Of course, it all depends.
Well, that's great. But generally, you figure things are going to keep on improving?
Broadly speaking, yes. As a matter of fact, industry is now operating at 82% of full capacity, as opposed to 65% in 1925. Of course, in 19...
He's the boogie woogie beautiful boy of Company B. So, she's...
Now that might seem a little strange to you, but she's not quite accountable for her actions. A friend of Mrs. Sycamore, she came to dinner and she was overcome by the heat.
Yes. Some people feel it, way more than others. I'm gonna go check on her. Please excuse me.
Oh, it is awfully hot. You usually escape this hot weather, don't you, Mrs. Kirby, up in Maine? As a rule,
I had to come down this week, however, for the flower show.
Oh, Mother wouldn't miss that for the world. That blue ribbon event is the high spot of her year.
I won a ribbon at a flower show once. Oh, for raising onions.
They were good.
Remember, Alice?
That was a garden show, Essie.
Oh, yes.
It looks like she'll be okay. Has Donald come back yet?
No, he hasn't.
Okay, well, he'll be back very soon. I'm afraid he must be starving.
Oh, no, quite all right. Hello. What is this? I hadn't realized there were little children running abound in this house.
Oh, no, that's mine.
Really? Well, I suppose every man has his hobby. Or is it used as a model of some kind?
No, I just play with it.
I see.
Perhaps you'd be better off, Father, if you had a hobby like that instead of raising orchids.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, but do tell us about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. I hear it takes 6 years for them to raise. That's interesting.
Oh. Some of them take even longer than that. I've got one coming along now that I've waited 10 years for.
Believe it or not, I was waiting for an orchid.
Of course, during that time, they require the most scrupulous of care. I remember a bowl I was particularly fond of.
Donald!
Oh, Donald, did you get everything?
Except they didn't have any frankfurters, so I had to swap them out for pickled pig's feet.
Just take everything into the kitchen, Donald.
You think, Alice?
Well, do tell us about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. I'm sure everyone would love to hear it. Excuse me.
It's kind of an expensive hobby, isn't it, Mr. Kirby, that raising orchids?
Yes, but I find that if a hobby gives man sufficient pleasure, it is never quite expensive.
Oh, that's very true.
You see, I need something to relieve the daily nerve strain. After a week on Wall Street, I'd nearly go insane if I hadn't something like that. A lot of men I know, they have yachts. Just for that reason.
Why don't they just give up on Wall Street?
How's that?
Oh, Mr. Kirby, I was just joking.
Well, I think it's necessary that everybody have a hobby. Of course, it's more to me than just a hobby, but my great solace is spiritualism.
Oh, Mrs. Graham, everyone knows that's a fake.
What do you mean, Mrs. Sycamore? Spiritualism is... Well, I'd rather not discuss it, Mrs. Sycamore.
Well, now, Penny, you have a hobby or two of your own, don't forget.
Yeah, but not stupid ones.
I don't think it matters what the hobby is. The important thing is just to have one.
For a hobby to be ideal, it must incorporate both the mind and the body. The Romans were great people. Why? What was their hobby? Wrestling. In wrestling, you must think quick with the mind and act quick with the body.
Yes, but I'm afraid that wrestling is not very practical for most of us. I'm afraid I wouldn't put on a very good show as a wrestler.
No, Mr. Kirby, you would make a great wrestler. You were built for it. Look.
My glasses! Where are my glasses?
I'm very sorry, Mr. Kirby. But the next time you wrestle, you will not wear your glasses.
I do not intend to wrestle again, Mrs. Glencoe!
Better sit down, Father.
Albert, why would nobody stop? If you don't mind, I think perhaps we had best be going.
Mother,
Please,
wait a
please
minute.
don't leave, please, Mr. Kirby. I've ordered some plain salad and some scrambled eggs. Please don't leave.
I am very sorry if I did anything wrong. And I apologize.
I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Kirby. If I had been here...
It's quite all right. Of course it is, darling. We're not going anywhere.
That was an exciting minute.
You were telling us about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. Do you raise many different varieties?
I'm afraid I've quite forgotten about my orchids, Mr. Vanderhoff.
I am awfully sorry, Mr. Kirby.
What did I do that was so terrible? I threw him to the floor. Did it kill him?
No, I'm sure dinner will be very soon.
Oh, would you like some candy while you're waiting, Mr. Kirby? I've got
My
some
doctor
fresh
does not
cake.
permit me to eat candy, thank you.
Oh, but these are nothing, just coconut and
No.
marshmallow.
Please, Essie. Oh, excuse me. What is it, Reba?
The eggs done fell down the sink.
Well, make some more, quick.
I ain't got any.
Well, send Donald out for some. Tell him to hurry. Sorry, it'll just be just a minute for dinner.
Well, I've certainly put you people through a lot of trouble with my stupidity.
No, not at all, Tony.
How about we play a game?
Mother, I don't think Mr. and Mrs. Kirby.
I have an idea. I know an excellent trick. Mr. and Mrs. Kirby are going to love this game. It's perfectly harmless.
I'm not very good at games, Mrs. Sycamore.
Any fool can play this game, Mr. Kirby. All you need is a piece of paper.
Mother, I don't think Mr.
Okay,
Kirby.
all you need is a piece of paper, and you're going to write your name on it. You'll love it. I got paper, you got pens,
I
Paul.
need the pens.
Here you go. You. Go. Yes.
You don't get it. I was kidding.
It's called Forget Me Not. I used to play it in school. It's very, very fun. So I'm going to say 5 words, okay? And you are going to write down the first thing that comes to your mind. No cheating. So if I say grass, you would put down green, for example. Or if I say chair, you might say table. So it shows your mind's association to different things. You see how simple it is, Mr. Kirby?
Come on, Father, be a sport.
Very well, I shall be happy to play it.
Yeah, he does want to play. All right, well, let's get started. Everyone ready? Ready! All right, first word, potatoes. 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 Got it? Okay, second word, bathroom.
Mother.
Bathroom. Third word, lust.
Mother,
Lust.
it's not exactly what
It's
you.
a fine word, Alice.
It is not a fine word.
I don't know. It seems to me that's a perfectly fair word.
Okay, you see, Alice, stop interrupting the game.
May I have that last word again, please, Miss Sycamore?
Oh, yeah, lust. L-U-S-T. See someone, lust.
I've got it.
This is quite a game, isn't it?
Shh, Grandpa.
Okay.
Honeymoon. Oh, dirty Shirley, quit it, you. Honeymoon. Last word. How about sex?
Mother.
Sex. Everyone got sex?
we
I know we do. Now, you're done. See, Mr. Kirby, it's a fun game. You like it?
It really is an interesting game.
Oh, I knew you would like it. You know, I'll read you our paper first. Thank you. All right, everybody. Mr. Kirby's paper. Here we go. Potatoes. Steak. That's good. See how that goes together? Steak and potatoes.
And I just happened to think of it off the top of my head.
That's very good, Mr. Kirby. Bathroom toothpaste. Yeah. Okay. Lust unlawful. Okay. Honeymoon trip. Yeah, that's what it. And sex male. You are a sex male. That's a very good paper, Mr. Kirby.
Thank you. It's more than just a game, you know. It's sort of an experiment in psychology, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I knew you would like it. How about we read Mrs. Kirby's next? That's fine. Mrs. Kirby. Okay, all right, everybody. Mrs. Kirby. Potato starch. Oh, yeah, I know just what you mean. That's pretty good. Okay. Oh, dear. Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
What's it?
Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
I don't quite follow that one, dear.
I don't know, Anthony. I just thought of you in connection with it, that's all. I mean, you are in there a good deal. Bathing and shaving. I mean, you do take an awfully long time.
I hadn't realized I was being so selfish in the matter. Go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
I think this is a very silly game and we ought to stop.
Oh, yes.
No, please. Go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
Okay. It was lust, human.
Human. Really, Miriam?
All I meant, Anthony, is that lust is, after all, a human emotion.
I don't agree with you. Lust is not a human emotion. It is depraved.
Very well then, Anthony, I am wrong.
Really? We could just play 20 questions.
Yes.
No, I find this game rather interesting. Will you go on, Miss Sycamore? What was the next word?
Honeymoon.
Oh. And what had Mrs. Kirby to say about that?
Honeymoon, dull.
You say dull.
All I meant, Anthony, was that Hot Springs was not very gay that season. All those old people sitting around on the porch all afternoon and nothing to do at night.
That was not your reaction at the time, as I recall it.
Now this is just a game, Father.
A very illuminating game. Go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
This one isn't that bad. It doesn't really make... It's Sex Wall Street.
Wall Street! Wall Street. What does that mean?
I don't know what it means, Anthony, nothing.
But it must have meant something, Miriam, or else you would not have put it down.
It was just the first thing that popped into my head, that's all.
But what does it mean? Sex? Wall
I
Street?
don't know what it means, Anthony, other than that you're always talking about Wall Street, even when... I don't know what it means. Would you mind terribly, Alice, if I didn't stay for dinner? This game has given me a headache.
Postpone the dinner if you don't mind.
Please come tomorrow.
Oh, I'm afraid we have an engagement
Perhaps
tomorrow
we
night.
better postpone the whole affair a little while, the hot weather and all.
I think we're being very ungracious here, Father. Of course, we'll stay to dinner tonight.
I have a very bad headache, Tony.
Come, Tony. I'm sure everyone will understand.
Well, I don't. We're staying.
No.
What?
We were fools, Tony. We were fools to think this would ever work. It won't. Mr. Kirby, I will not be in the office at all anymore.
Alice, what are you talking about?
I'm sorry, my dear. Very sorry. Are you ready, Miriam?
Yes, Anthony.
Darling, you mustn't mind this.
It's been very nice to have met you all.
Yes, lovely.
Are you coming, Tony?
No, Father, I am not.
I see. Your mother and I shall wait for you at home. Good night.
Good night.
Stay right where you are, everybody, don't move.
What is all this?
I demand an explanation.
Keep your mouth shut, you. What are you doing?
What?
Grandpa, what is this?
This is an outrage.
Shut up, you. What's your name?
Edward Carmichael? I haven't done anything.
Oh, you haven't, huh?
Well, this all seems rather high-handed to me. What's it all about?
Department of Justice.
Oh my God, the fence.
What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
What's the boy done, officer?
What is it? What's it all about?
I haven't done anything.
Come here, you. You ever seen these before?
Yeah, they're my circulars.
Oh, you print this stuff, huh?
Yes?
And you put them into boxes of candy to get them into people's homes?
The laundry.
Listen, I didn't mean any of this.
Dynamite the Capitol, dynamite the White House, dynamite the Supreme Court. God is the state and the state is God.
Listen, I didn't mean any of that. I just like to print. Right, Grandpa? Tell him.
Officer, the government is in no danger from Ed. Printing is just his hobby, that's all. He'll print anything.
He will, huh?
Really, I've never heard of such nonsense.
I refuse to
Shut
stay
up!
here.
They've got enough gunpowder down there to blow up the
we
whole
just-
city.
you-
Keep still! Everybody in this house is under arrest.
Now, this is all nonsense.
Oh, you better let me get my pipe.
Shut up, you!
Officer, it seems
Shut up!
He's the for you.
Line up, you people! Line up, all of you!
I gotta get the red egg on the glass. Yes, there. For appearance in the West Side Court this morning after spending the night in jail, the defendants, 13 in all, were brought before Judge Callahan and given suspended sentences for manufacturing fireworks without a permit.
And they kept me in a prison cell with a strip teaser from a burlesque show.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather prefer that to, than the ghost that is Mr. Kirby leering over my bed when I'm asleep.
Mrs. Kirby, she was fighting with that strip teaser all night. It was driving me mad.
I mean, they're a horrific family. A whole lot about that Mr. Kirby fella. Anthony W. Kirby, head of Kirby & Co., 62 Wall Street, who was among those apprehended, declared he was in no way interested in the manufacturing of fireworks, but refused to state why he was on the premises at the time of the raid, which you and I both know why. Kirby's a member of the Union Club, the Racket Club, the Harvard Club, and the National Geographic Society. I mean, I guess he just loves to join stuff.
Yeah, all them things are elves or something.
Yeah. I suppose, Tony's never gonna propose to Alice now, right?
No, sir, and it's a shame, too, because Miss Alice sure does love that boy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we're gonna do with all that food out in the kitchen. I mean, there ain't gonna be no party.
Yeah. Well, I was pondering upon that, and I was thinking we was gonna eat it, right?
Well, I'm making it, but I'm not sure they're gonna eat it.
Yeah, but I'm hungry.
Well, they ain't. And they're also broke up about Miss Alice anyway.
I mean, what's she going away for, that
my
Miss
God,
Alice? Where's she gonna go? A girl of that size in the mountain ranges? How long's she gonna make it? 6 weeks? Hey? God, it makes no sense. She's got it made here. Truly.
I know, we've been over this. But she's going mountain someplace, and you know Miss Alice when she gets that look in her eye. When she's going, she's going.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be too bad when Bear gets that look in her eye. Really is too bad.
It sure is.
Not even a balloon left. Look, you see?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. DePina. How's your hand doing? Better?
It's fine, thanks. You got any more olive oil back there?
Yeah, it's in the salad bowl.
All right.
He gives me the creeps,
I know, me too.
She's going. Nothing anybody said will change her mind.
Miss Sycamore. You don't think she's gonna be away long, do you?
I don't know, maybe she wouldn't stay.
It's gonna be mighty lonesome here without her.
Super lonesome. So how you feeling, Mrs.
Honestly, Donna,
Yeah.
I'm really upset. Maybe if I had someone to talk to, confide in.
Maybe. In this time of grief, we'll leave you alone.
Oh, she's going, Betty.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, Betty.
I can't help but feel like it's our fault.
It's mine more than it's yours. mean, all these years I've just been going along trying to enjoy myself. But maybe I should have been thinking more about Alice.
You've been a wonderful father and husband too.
No, I haven't. I mean, maybe if I'd gone and just been an architect or something, I don't know. I felt all that last night looking at Mr. Kirby.
We were so happy.
I know, and I used to think that was enough, but now I'm just so mixed up.
When does the train go?
Pretty soon. Leaves about 7:30.
If only Tony would talk to her.
Oh, but it won't help Betty. He's been trying all day.
Where is he now?
I don't know. I suppose walking around the block again, but anyhow, she won't even talk to him.
Maybe he can catch her on her way out.
It won't help, Betty. It won't help. Ow. Ow.
So I feel so... Grandpa, did you talk to her?
Now, Penny, leave the girl alone.
But Grandpa...
Suppose she does go to the Adirondacks. She'll be back. Well, one can take just so much Adirondacks, and then you come home.
But it's still so terrible.
In a way, but there's certainly a bright side, too.
How do you mean?
Well, Mr. Kirby getting into the patrol wagon for one, and the expression on his face when he and Donald had to take a bath together. I'll never forget that if I live to be 100, and I'll warn you people I intend to if I can have things like that going on.
It was even worse with Mrs. Kirby. We were with the burlesque dancer, and when the matron stripped her, she was singing a strip song and made her dance.
I suppose Bar Harbor is going to seem pretty dull to the Kirbys this summer. You need any help, Alice?
Oh, Alice, dear.
Now, Penny.
I'll bring the big bag down as soon as you're ready, Alice.
Thank you. Do you want some candy left for the train, Alice?
No, I see.
You know, you could just stay in your room all summer. We won't bother you. It's the same as being in the mountains. I'll put up a poster and stuff.
No, Mother, I want to be alone, away from everybody. I love you all, you know that, but I need to be alone. I'll be all right. Did you phone for the cab, Father?
Oh, I didn't know you wanted one.
Oh, I told Mr. DePina to tell you.
He didn't tell me.
Oh, you told me.
Oh.
But I forgot.
I wish I lived in a family that didn't forget everything, that behaved the way other people's families do. I'm sick of cornflakes and Donald and everything. I want to be like other people, normal people. Roast beef and 2 green vegetables, doilies on the table, a place where I can bring people without...
I'll see if I can do anything.
Tony, talk to her. She's in the kitchen.
Thanks. Alice, won't you listen to me?
It's no use, Tony.
Alice, at least let me talk to you.
Well, where'd they go?
Upstairs.
She ran out the minute he came in.
Knock the olive oil right out of my hand. You know, I'm gonna smell a little fishy.
Well, how are you feeling, Mr. DePina? Is your hand still hurting you?
It's all right, thanks.
So everything's burned up, huh? Downstairs.
Everything of my Roman costume, too.
See, Penny, I told you there's a bright side to everything. All except my 23 years back income tax. You know, I get a new letter every day.
Say, what are you gonna do about that, Grandpa?
Well, you know, I had a kind of idea yesterday. It may not work, but I'm gonna try it anyhow.
Yeah, what is it?
Well, I'm gonna go
Good evening, everybody. Forgive me, the door was open.
Oh, no, come on in, Kallay.
You must excuse my coming today. I realize you are all upset.
It's all right, Miss Kolkov.
I don't think I can take a lesson today, Miss Kunka, if I don't feel up to it.
Well,
But do stay for dinner. We were gonna have all that food and someone's gotta have it.
I will be happy to, Madam Sycamore. Now, I wonder if I know you well enough to ask you a great favor.
Of course.
Well, I'm sure you've heard me talk about my friend, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. Well, she is a wonderful woman, the Grand Duchess, cousin to the Tsar, and now she works in child's restaurant, Times Square.
If there's anything we can do to help.
Well, the Grand Duchess has not had a good meal since before the revolution.
She must be hungry.
Today not only happens to be her day off, Thursday, but it is also the anniversary of Peter the Great, a remarkable man.
But If you mean that you'd like for the Grand Duchess to come here, we would be honored.
Oh, yes. In the name of the Grand Duchess, I thank you.
Well, where is she now?
She's out in the street waiting. I will
Hi, S.E. Fixie Dress, how do I look?
This keeps up, I think I'll live to be 150.
The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina!
Your Highness, may I present Madam Sycamore, Madam Carmichael, Grandpa,
Madam.
Mr. Sycamore, Mr. Carmichael, and Mr. Rabina.
Come and make yourself comfortable, Your Highness.
Thank you, you're most kind.
We are so honored to receive you.
Oh, I'm most happy to be here. How soon is dinner?
Soon? We'll make it very soon. Very
I do not mean to be rude, but I must be back at the restaurant by 8 o'clock. I'm substituting for another waitress.
I will make sure you are on time, Your Highness.
Thank you, Kolenkov.
Your Highness, did you serve me a child's once on 72nd?
No, that was my sister.
The Grand Duchess Natasha!
I work in Times Square.
Quite a lot of your folks living over here now, aren't there?
Oh, yes, my uncle, the Grand Duke Sergei. Very nice man. He's an elevator man at Macy's. Then there is my cousin, Prince Alexis. He will not speak to any of us because he works at Hetty Carnegie. He is in ladies' underwear.
Back when he was selling hot dogs at Coney Island, then he was willing to talk to you.
Kolenkov, our time is coming. My sister Natasha is studying to be a manicurist. Uncle Sergei has been promised to make a floor walker, and next month I move over to the 5th Avenue Childs. From there, it is just a step up to Schraft's, and then we will see what Prince Alexis says.
I think you got him.
You are telling me.
Did you know the Tsar, like, personally?
Oh, of course, he was my cousin. Terrible what happened to him, but probably for the best. Where could he get the job now?
Pravda, that is true.
And poor relations are poor relations. It is the same in every family. My cousin, the King of Sweden, is very good to us for about 10 years. Every once in a while, sending us a money order. Then he comes to me and he says, I cannot go on. I'm not doing so well myself. I do not blame him.
Oh, of course not. Please excuse me for a moment.
Grand Duchess, hi. Is it true what they're saying about Rasputin?
Everybody wants to know about Rasputin. Yes, my dear sir, it is true, and how?
Your Highness, you must keep an eye on the time.
Oh yes, I cannot be late. The manager does not like me. He is a communist.
Well, Essie, why don't you go in the kitchen and help read us speed things up?
Oh, I'm a very good cook. I will help.
No, but it's not on your day off.
Please, I do not mind. Where is your kitchen?
Right through here, but you're the guest of honor, Your Highness.
I love to cook. Come, Kolenkov. If they have sour cream and pot cheese, I will make you some blintzes.
How about Paul? Be sure you something!
Is the Grand Duchess all right? Say, Grand Duchess, let me help you.
She's got a wonderful face for a mask, hasn't she?
Really wonderful, especially for a Grand Duchess.
Yeah, amazing what people will go through and still keep kind of gay about it.
She made me forget about everything for a minute.
Oh, I better go call that cab.
Oh, Paul, no, maybe Tony's talked to Alice.
Ed, please don't bring my bag down.
Now, don't you do it,
Ed,
Ed.
please.
All right, Ed, bring it down. Do you know you have the most stubborn daughter in all 48 states?
She won the award.
That must be the cab.
If it is, it's wonderful service.
Is Tony here, Alice?
Yes, Mr. Kirby. Please come in.
Well, how do you do?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Forgive my intruding. Tony, I would like you to come home with me. Your mother is very upset.
Very well. Goodbye, Alice.
Goodbye, Thomas.
I need hardly say that this is as painful to Mrs. Kirby and myself as it is to you people. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you understand.
Well, yes, but well, in a way, no. You see, Mr. Kirby, I'm not the kind of person that tries to run other people's lives, but the fact is, I don't think these two young people have got as much sense as you and I have.
Grandpa, will you please?
Well, I'm just talking with Mr. Kirby. A cat can look at a king, can't he?
Oh, Alice, do you want me to phone for you?
No, thank you, Mother.
Well, you know, you get a while before the train gets in.
Hi, will you send a cab to 671 Claremont? Yes, thank you.
Oh, Alice! Ah!
Are you ready, Tony?
Mr. Kirby, I suppose that after last night you think this family's kind of crazy.
No, but I am not accustomed to going out to dinner and spending the night in jail.
Well, you've got to remember, Mr. Kirby, you came on the wrong night. Now, tonight I'll bet nothing will happen. Maybe.
Mr. Vanderhoff, it was not merely last night that convinced Mrs. Kirby and myself that this engagement would be unwise.
Father, I can handle my own affairs. Alice, for the last time, will you marry me?
No. Your father is right, Tony.
No, he isn't.
Alice, you're in love with this boy, and you're not marrying him because we're the kind of people we are.
Grandpa.
I know. You don't think the families will get along, and maybe you're right, but who is to say that they're right and we're wrong?
I didn't say that. I only feel
Well,
that...
how I feel is that Tony's too nice a boy to wake up 20 years from now with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
How's that?
Yes. Mixed up and unhappy. The way you are.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Vanderhoff. I am an extremely happy man.
Are you?
Certainly I am.
I don't think so. What do you think you get your indigestion from? Happiness? No, you get it because you spend too much of your time doing things you don't want to do.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Well, sure you do. Just last night you said after a week on Wall Street you're pretty near crazy. So why would you keep on doing it?
Why? That's my business. A man can't give up his business.
Why not? You got all the money you need and you can't take it with you.
That's easy for you to say, Mr. Vanderhoff. I have spent my entire life building up my business.
And what's it got you? You get the same kind of mail in the morning, the same kind of deals, the same kind of meetings, the same dinners at night, and the same indigestion. Well, where does the fun come in? Don't you think there ought to be something more, Mr. Kirby? I'm sure you wanted something more when you started out. You haven't got much time, you know. Any of us.
Well, what do you expect me to do? Live the way you live? Do nothing?
I do have a lot of fun. I've got time enough for everything. I read, I talk, I practice my darts, I even visit the zoo now and then. I've got time to notice when spring comes around. I don't see anybody I don't want to see. And I haven't got 6 hours of things I have to do before I get 1 hour to do what I like in. And Mr. Kirby, I haven't taken bicarbonate of soda in 35 years. So what's the matter with that?
The matter with that? Suppose we all did it. Oh, a fine world we'd have then. Everyone going to zoos. Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Vanderhoff. Who would do the work?
There's always people that like to work. You can't stop them. Inventions that they'll fly over the ocean. And there'll always be people to go down to Wall Street too because they like it. But I don't think you're one of them, Mr. Kirby. I think you're missing something.
I am not aware of missing anything, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Well, I wasn't either. Until I quit. You know, I used to get down to that office every morning, 9 o'clock sharp, for fear I wouldn't get that contract. Used to get all worried about the world, too. Seemed awful important at the time whether Cleveland or Blaine would be president, but who cares now? What I'm trying to say, Mr. Kirby, is that I've got 35 years of my life that nobody can take away from me no matter what they do to the world. See?
Yes. I do see. And it's a very dangerous philosophy, Mr. Vanderhoff. Why, it's un-American. And it's exactly why I'm opposed to this marriage. I don't want Tony to come under its influence.
What's the matter with it, Father?
The matter with it? Why, it's downright communist. That's the matter with it.
You didn't always think so.
I most certainly did. What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. You didn't always think so because there was a time that you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
I don't be an idiot.
Oh, yes, you did. I came across those letters you wrote to Grandfather. Do you remember those?
No, how dare you? How dare you read my
I
letters?
think it's wonderful. Did you wear tights?
Certainly not! This whole thing is most absurd. I was 14 years old at the time.
Yes, but at 18 you wanted to be a saxophone player, now didn't you?
Johnny!
And at 21 you ran away from home because Grandfather wanted you to join the business. It's all down there in black and white. You didn't always think so.
Well.
I may have had silly notions in my youth, but thank God my father knocked them out of me. I went into the business and forgot about them.
Not quite, Father. You still have a saxophone in the back of your clothes closet.
He does?
That's quite enough, Tony. We'll discuss this later.
No. We will talk about this now. I think Mr. Vanderhoff is right. Dead right. I'm never going back to that office. I've hated it there forever, and I refuse to go back. And I'll tell you another thing. I didn't make a mistake last night. I knew it was the wrong night. I brought you here on purpose.
Tony!
What?
Because I wanted you to wake up. I wanted you to see a real family for who they really are. A family that loves and understands each other. You don't understand me. You've never had the time. Well, I'm not going to make your same mistake. I'm clearing out.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not going to be pushed into the business just because I am your son. I'm getting out while I still have time.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a bricklayer, but at least I'll be doing something I want to do.
That must be the cab.
Tell him to wait a minute, Ed.
Grandpa.
Alice, do you mind? You know, Mr. Kirby, I think Tony's going through the same thing you and I went through when we were his age. I think if you listen hard enough, you can hear yourself saying the same thing to your father 25 years ago. We all did, and we were right. All those plans we make, what happens to them? It's only a handful of the lucky ones who can say they even came close. So, Mr. Kirby, before they clean out that closet, I think I'd get in a few more good hours on that saxophone.
Beg your pardon, but before I make the blintzes, how many will there be for dinner?
Your Highness, Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Kirby Jr., the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
How's that?
How do you do? Before I make the blintzes, how many to dinner?
Oh, I'd make quite a stack of them, Your Highness. You can't ever tell.
Very good. The Tsar always said, Olga, do not be stingy with the blintzes.
Who do you say that was, Miss Vanderhoff?
Oh, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's cooking the dinner.
Oh.
Speaking of dinner, Mr. Kirby, why don't you and Tony both stay?
Please do. We have all that stuff we're gonna have for the party, so.
Sounds like quite a dinner. Plus, it'll give us a chance to get acquainted. Why not stay?
How about it, Father? Can we stay for dinner?
Why, if you'd care to, Tony, I'd like to very much.
Well, now, if Alice will send away that cab, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Well, how about Alice? It's going to be quite a crowd. Don't you think you ought to stay for dinner?
I'm staying, Alice. The families ought to get to know each other.
okay, Mr. Kirby. Grandpa, you're wonderful.
I've been telling you that for years.
There's a letter for you, Grandpa. It was in the icebox.
Oh, it's a great place for a letter.
Mr. Kirby?
How do you do?
Well, now, Miss Sycamore, if you'd step into my office, I'd like to do a little dictating.
I better tell that Gab.
Well, well, well.
What is it, Grandpa?
The United States government apologizes. I don't owe him a nickel. It seems I died 8 years ago.
What do they mean, Grandpa?
Well, you remember Charlie, the milkman buried under my name?
Yes.
Well, I just told them I was Martin Vanderhoff Jr. and they made a mistake. And it says here they're sorry and then I might even get a refund.
Grandpa, you're an old crook.
Sure am.
Talk to me, Mr. Vanderhoff. How did you say you escaped that income tax?
Tonight, my friends, you will eat.
Oh, hello there.
How do you do?
Fine. Fine. I'm glad to see you.
What is it?
Keep relaxing. Play something, Ed.
All right.
Everything will be ready in a minute. You can get settled for dinner.
Right, come on, everybody, dinner! Essie, stop dancing, come to dinner.
You will like Russian food, Mr. Kirby.
Oh, but you have to be careful of your indigestion.
Nonsense. I don't have any indigestion.
Now, Miss Sycamore, how was that trip to the Adirondacks?
Shut your face, Mr. Kirby.
In Russia, when they sit down to dinner.
All right, quiet. Everybody quiet. Well, sir. Here we are again. We want to say thank you for everything you've done for us. Alice is going to marry Tony, and it looks like they're going to be very happy. Of course, the fireworks went off, but that was Mr. DePina's fault. Not yours. Everybody's got their health, and, well, I've got to say, thank you for each and every one of these lovely people. Thank you. Let's eat.
Grandpa, I've heard again from my friend in Siberia. He has escaped again.
Oh, shame to
Mr. Kirby, do you like Russian food? We'll have it for dinner.
I'm gonna dance you later, Mr. Kirby. I'm gonna do this for God.
I've written some special music for it.
What do you think of the security? We better get started on next year's fireworks.
Well, there goes the Adirondacks.
And a very good thing, too.
First of all, thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us. Thank you for spending this whole weekend with us. Thank you in particular to the entire MKA faculty, to the entire MKA administration. Thank you for your support. Thank you to everybody in the alumni office and in the development office. In particular, Madison Kilduff and Gretchen Vera. Thank you so much. Thank you to our design team, including but not limited to Jill Nagel, Sarah Miller, and Tim Carlson for designing the show. 8 days is a short time to put on the show, my goodness. And finally, and most importantly, thanks to Nicole Hoppy, who has been she has been changing the school one production at a time for the past 15 years, and here's the 15 more, 30 more. She's fostered a passion, our friendships, and in my case, my career. So thank you, Nicole. Nicole has this tradition before every show where she'll come into the green room about 5 minutes before we go on to recite a poem that she's written for the cast and crew, and it's only fair that we return the favor. So we've written a little poem for Nicole Hoppy. Here we go. Give me 1 second. Let me get my other lines. I'm just joking. Yeah. Nicole is free. Everyone know what we're doing? Back in the year 2008, there was an opening in the theater.
MKA was down a director and needed a new teacher.
Someone to produce plays and write musicals, someone to produce and note musicals, plays, and performances.
And to teach a full course load, the requirements were enormous.
MK got that teacher, but in truth got so much more.
An artist, mentor, a leader, and friend with an always open door.
Of her there is no equal, of her there is no copy.
The school needed a teacher. What it got was a hobby.
From Footloose to Forum, Shrek to Chicago, and every show in between.
She made us laugh, she made us cry, and made each of us feel seen.
Now we're back up here in Deetjen, back up on the stage.
Hoppy, look at all the lives you touched, all the lives you changed.
From lines we couldn't remember to moments we'll never forget.
Each one of us is grateful and forever in your debt.
So here's to Nicole Hoppy, the reason for this show.
To you we give a round of applause, and to you we say,
love what you do, Nick, 'cause that's where you spend most of your life and you'll never work a day. And because of all the people you see here, that's me. So dreams really do come true. I love you guys so much.